What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? Guys, it's we take these things. Luna Classic is going to have one of the most epic recoveries that you've ever seen in all of cryptocurrency. And we've seen a few recoveries in crypto, but we've never really seen one the likes of which we're about to see with Luna Classic. Now, if you like this content, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, very important, and hit the bell to be notified of future content. I do put out multiple pieces of content every single day. If you want to be notified of them, by all means, do that. But the important thing is Luna Classic is on the cusp of great. We have functioning blockchain. We have a repeg in the process of being implemented. All of the pieces are in place to really give you that which you want the most, and that is a full-on recovery of Luna Classic. Now, along with that becomes one of the most important pieces, and that important piece is burning down some of the supply. And this, by the way, is a complicated process because you can't just take people's tokens and start to burn them down. There is no option for another version. This is what we have. So we have to come up with something revolutionary to make happen. And that takes a little bit of time to get this thing to function and to get all of this stuff to happen the right way. It's a complicated process. And I know a lot of you in your minds can say, well, that's pretty simple. No, it's not. If it were, it would already have been done immediately. So you have to understand the first thing. There is $1 debt for every USTC that's been. If this were to go back to $1, then you would have to have $8.9 billion invested in it, and that's not feasible. So the structure then has to become, how do we how do we fix that portion and start to diminish the supply? Well, the reasonable assumption here would be the spread tax system, which is what people are looking at right now, which is burning the supply and not reminting. So you, instead of the classic system is that when you in Terra, for example, you bought Terra and it created Terra. You sold Terra and it burned Terra, but it used part of the Terra that burned to buy Luna Classic. It also burned some Luna Classic along the way. And that kept it pegged to $1. And then when Terra was falling down or was losing a tiny bit of value, then Luna was used and sold in order to stabilize it. So that's the way that it worked. But we've got to come up with a different mechanism to make this thing work. Now, we're going to look at the price action today, and there's been proposal after proposal. You know what? I'm just going to show you. You guys can see and make a decision for yourself. But we have another proposal up here for somebody else who's now solved the problem and wants to implement another tax and wants to continue taxing people. Folks, this is not going to work. There's already a voluntary tax process that's happening with Binance that's burning. It's not enough. I know that, and we all know that. Nobody is without the wisdom and understanding of this. But what we do have now is we have a lot of people coming up that are telling us, well, if you just burn taxes, then we're going to reduce everything. Well, that's not how it's going to work, because whales will not start trading if they're going to lose value. That's silly and that's nonsense, and it's not going to happen. So basically, you're asking all of the people who are trading, making money, to stop making as much money. That's a socialist method that will not work. Now, the small amount that we do have seems to be functioning, but it's also prohibitive. So for the moment, the best thing that we can do is work on the repeg. And I hope you guys understand that. And I hope that I'm speaking to the smart people when I'm talking to you. I'm hoping I'm talking to the ones who understand that process. So we do want to look at this. We do want to have we do want to have some discussions about how best to burn. But now we're going to move on to station. No real proposal. This is the we're still doing the burn of 800 million USTC funds legally absolved, etc. Okay, so now here's the thing, and guys, you have to understand, and this cannot fall on deaf ears. If you come over here, there's 9.7 billion total USTC, but there's only 8.9 in circulation. The money's already been removed. Burning the 800 million doesn't do anything. It doesn't fix anything. It doesn't solve any problem because it's already out of the ecosystem. So if that is the case, then what are we talking about here, right? This is just childishness. that's happening right now. Now, of course, there has to be some burn. Everybody thinks that they're an expert and they've got the solution, they've got the answer, but they don't. They're listening to what everybody else is saying, and they're just making their decision. By the way, go check out that Fire token. The pre-sale is going live, so we'll be talking about that very soon as well. But let me take a look at the price action here. 2 days ago we talked about this. I told you exactly what was going to happen. I told you exactly where this thing was going to go, and guess what? Just like a rocket, it did exactly what we said it was going to do, and now it's trending inside this little golden channel here, which we're going to remove right now, and then we're going to look at what's happening right now. Now, I do think that price is about to spike, and I do think that we're about to make a move here and pop this up and start heading back up and start testing some of these levels up here at the top one more time. And the reason for that is positive sentiment in the overall market. There's money continuing to flood back into the market, which would indicate that a pump is due. Now, with this move to the downside, which coincided, by the way, with the dump of the Bitcoin market, the reversal is starting to happen. So we'll see a little bit come in, but then as soon as Bitcoin cools off, as soon as we really get that cooling off of Bitcoin, that's when we're really going to see a big move. Now, we've seen the start of a corrective move towards the upside over here in the last 30 minutes, right? You look at the 1 hour chart right here, you can see it a little bit better. But we're still in that spot where we're waiting for the next big leg up. Same thing over here. Now we flew right through here. And by the way, if I took the liberty right here of just kind of pulling this out just a little bit more, you can see like we called this perfectly, right? So the next place that we're going to call perfectly is going to be the 200 SMA. So this is where we're coming next, 3.7 cents, hopefully using that as an impetus, because we are in the golden pocket right now. So we're not in the lower part of it, but this is the spot where you get a good price, DCA your way through this bottom right here, just in case we kind of wick down here to, what is this, 2.7 cents, and then start rejecting and coming back up, right? So we're in a good spot, and I think that we're going to have a nice little eruption here on USTC as well. So, but that's we're going to need the market to we're going to need Bitcoin to cool off a little bit. Bitcoin is running super hot right now. Beautiful thing to see, by the way. Glad to see Bitcoin finally getting a nice little run, and that will apply to Luna Classic. So, just in the meantime, guys, it's important to understand that all of this nonsense that we have about being innovative ways to take your token, that doesn't work. If that worked, then the centralized exchanges would be doing it. But the centralized exchanges, they know that if you do these burn taxes, they don't work, which is why we have taxes in the Ethereum ecosystem, and it doesn't work for tokens all the time. It just doesn't work. Okay, the ones that run, the ones that succeed, the ones that thrive are zero tax items. It's just the way that it is. That doesn't mean that you can't have a pump. Doesn't mean that you can't have some kind of tax system set up in order to fund your ecosystem through Ethereum or Solana or one of these different systems, right? But no, not here. Here's what we need to do. I'm going to lay that out. You know what? We're going to lay that out in the next couple of days. In fact, I'm going to have a conversation today about the future of Luna Classic, and then we're going to have some real conversations going forward about fixing this entire ecosystem and getting it into a thriving sort of economy going forward. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think we need? Obviously, we need something like Anchor Protocol. Anchor Protocol was the driving force behind the Terra ecosystem previously. How do we get something like that set up again? We do have to we have to start with that spread tax system in order to get the volume, the USTC supply down. We have to continue to diminish the Luna Classic supply. So there is solutions, but we'll work on that at a future time. For right now, I think we're at the lows right now. It's time to, if you're going to make a play, right now it's the point to make a play, because I think we're ready for a big move towards that upside. Anyway, it's not financial advice. My name's Bleaves. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon.